Hello, my friend. This is Arrogant Aaron, and today I'd like to introduce my new series. This is Rural Korea. In this series, I'd like to make several videos in a series of episodes that explore different topics about life in rural Korea from my perspective. I'd like to do this in order to give my friends, my family, an opportunity to learn more about rural Korea and what my experience is in rural Korea. Furthermore, I would think it might be interesting or informative for an audience member that doesn't know me. And that's my hope, is that sometime someone in the future may want to know about rural life in South Korea. And I hope through these series of episodes to be able to inform them so that they can know what it is like to live in rural South Korea. So now that I've introduced the video series, I'd like to qualify my experiences and why I feel like my perspective is somewhat unique about rural Korea. Now, of course, there are many Koreans that live in rural Korea, and they know a lot about what life is like here. But I am trying to access an English-speaking audience and help them to know what life is like in rural South Korea. Also, I have lived in Korea for more than 10 years. So I bring all of that experience to be able to correlate my observations and be able to kind of differentiate between what is just something that's in all of Korea versus just rural Korea, or it's maybe something that's unique to rural life in Korea versus rural life in other countries. Also, I have the experience of living in rural locations in America. I lived in Alaska in 2 different areas, and they had some similar characteristics of being rural locations, but rural South Korea is much more unique than daily life in Alaska for a Westerner. So my vision of my my vision of this series is that in the future, someone could go through and look at individual topics and maybe get a better understanding of maybe if they want to travel, or even if they're considering living, or maybe even moving for a longer period of time to rural South Korea. And finally, the types of topics I want to cover, I think first I want to cover kind of a general array of topics. The people, traveling, housing conditions, job opportunities, business opportunities, those sorts of topics. And as I progress through those topics, I suspect that eventually I will cover most of what I have to share from what I can do sitting in a chair in a room. And I hope to, at that point, be able to get this camera and me outside and maybe even show a little bit of what the actual daily environment looks like in rural South Korea. So this is Arrogant Aaron, and I just wanted to explain what I'm doing in this video series. And I hope that if you are interested in rural life in South Korea, you will be interested in this video series.